Hi everybody! I really wanted to tell you about a movie that I saw last night. I saw it at an early screening. It's called Spotlight. It's definitely one of the best films of the year. It's about a team of journalists, investigative journalists from the Boston Globe that were called Spotlight, like detectives. These literally spent 2 years looking at the allegations into priests in the Catholic Church that were accused of molesting little children. It's written and directed by Thomas McCarthy, and he has done such a good job layering on the evidence and the interviews and the characters, and it's just incredible how many characters are fully developed and we come to know like as if they're real people, because they are real people, but we feel like we're experiencing this with them. We're going through it with them. We're getting the next revelation and the next revelation. It was incredible how likable every single person in this film is. You are rooting for them. It's almost like an underdog story. I mean, they're taking on this huge thing of the church in Boston and how big, it is there. It is gut-wrenching. It's hard to watch at times. It's painful, to think of what these people did to these children. It just makes you sick. And yet it's also actually I laughed. It's not a depressing film. That's the crazy thing about it. They these are people that you're following for 2 years. And of course, even if they're investigating this horrible thing, you're going to have laughs in 2 years. That's how immersed you are in the experience, that you get the highs and the lows and the frustrations and even some of the camaraderie and humor that you would expect in a bunch of people that are working together. A movie that you really wish there was an ensemble award at the Oscars, because it's really hard to say who is the best in this movie. The acting is so good. I mean, like I said, you feel like you know these people. It's such a well-rounded, it feels like real people. I know it is real people, but it feels like real people. And you can't always say that's the case. You don't feel manipulated at all. For instance, with Steve Jobs, it's a good movie, but it left me feeling a little bit cold, because I felt like they were kind of manipulating me into thinking about Steve Jobs in a particular way, which to me didn't seem particularly fair. But in this case, it's just so layered and it's so detailed, and you get to know so many different people. And I left the film feeling inspired, I didn't feel depressed. I felt inspired. I wanted to make a difference in the world. I wanted to do something to help people, that's the greatness of this movie. And the cast is just all excellent. I mean, Mark Ruffalo is great as one of the sort of the more ambitious, I guess, of the reporters and the investigators. And, he's willing to rush and work insane hours and, just amazing. Rachel McAdams plays another one on the Spotlight team. She's the only woman on the team, and she seems to have the most in-depth and sincere sort of relationships with the victims, and so you see a lot of that with her interacting with them and getting to know them, and it's really painful. And then Michael Keaton plays the leader of the Spotlight group, and he's great as this leader because he is a leader in the community. People know him. And that's how he's able to get a lot of information, but it's also he has to make a lot of tough choices too. Is he going to, a lot of people will say things like, the church does a lot of good, so lay off, kind of a feeling. And so he has to be willing to make people upset with him. And so that was just great. And Stanley Tucci is fabulous as this lawyer who, at the beginning of the film, he's just out to sensationalize and, get to extort the Catholic Church. But you get to know his character and you get to see a lot more inside him. Liev Schreiber is great as the new boss who comes in, and he really challenges them going in this case, and you think, is he doing this just to sort of make a big name for himself as the new editor? And that may be partly true, but it's still a good thing. Like, it's such a layered character. It's a great character. And there's so many. John Slattery from Mad Men is in it. He's really good. I could go on and on and on. And even just the little performances by the different victims are great and heart-wrenching and will make you cry. There's a scene with Mark Ruffalo and Michael Keaton where they really get at it about when to publish the findings that they have, and that's brutal, that's so well acted. And there's another scene that I loved between Mark Ruffalo and Rachel McAdams where he talks about how much he used to love going to church, and person of deep and abiding faith. Obviously, watching this kind of thing is painful. It's hard. But I actually think this is a really important film for people of faith to watch. You know, there's the old Edmund Burke quote of all that it takes for evil to thrive is for good men to do nothing. And this is the best example I think I've ever seen in the movies of that quote. So we need, as people of faith, we need to know about these things. We need to see these movies. We need to be aware, because we all like to think that we would do the right thing. Here you have an entire city that made excuses for these horrible, horrible acts and these horrible people. And so we need to know, and we need to examine it, and we need to think about these things. And because that is not what Jesus would have us do, obviously. It is not the right thing to do. A lot of good people ignored or didn't do what they should have done for this case. And so I think it's a really important film, actually, for people of faith to view. I was really moved by it, and like I said, I did not feel depressed by it, even though it is very sobering. To me, it was inspiring. So it's great performances, great writing, really immersive story, really well shot, well directed, well paced. I have nothing negative to say about this film. I mean, chance to see it, go see Spotlight. It's really good. So thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.